Okay, let's do this once more with feeling. Okay, hey you guys, it's Kyle. I'm coming to you all live from Santa Monica, California. As you can see, the beautiful palm trees. Whatever. So, I'm coming to talk to you all about some serious stuff because as you get older, you just start to, pay attention to things that you never really thought before how, they really affected you because, you feel so small when you're younger. But as you get older, you're out in public and you're interacting with more people in society and like dealing with the government on like more of a day-to-day basis. So you start to realize how everything that's going on in the world, like especially with like the president and the government, you start to realize how much that all affects you. So in the news lately, I'm going to try to make this as fun and interesting as possible because I know a lot of people get totally like dead sleepy bored when it comes to government and voting and all that stuff. But let's try to make this interesting. I find it really interesting. That's why I'm making a video on it. DACA and Donald Trump. So from what I've gathered, DACA it's a set of, I guess it's a new bill or a proposition that the Senate and Congress, all those people in the White House and in Washington D.C., they are pretty much battling over immigration reform, and immigration goes really, really deep because I keep hearing people say, oh, there's so many jobs in America that even, Native Americans, well, not Native Americans, I want to say pure-born Americans or legal Americans, people who belong here, who aren't immigrants, that they don't want to do. I'm not sure what these jobs are that regular Americans don't want to do that we have to, bring people from other countries to do. Because I know plenty of like trash men who are totally American. So I wrote a list of things actually. As you can see, my notes about this situation. Because it's very dear to my heart. I'm not saying I'm racist or anything, but immigration is a subject that greatly affects everybody on a day-to-day level. Like from very wealthy people to those who are impoverished and on welfare and things like that. Immigration, it affects what position you stand in line at the grocery store. Like if there's 10 illegal Mexicans or illegal, I guess, Koreans or whatever, Russian people in front of you in line, you have to stand and wait behind all those people. And that's going to waste your time and eat up your time. And you wouldn't have to wait so long for different things if those people weren't in front of you in line. Do you understand what I'm saying? So that's why immigration reform is very important. And I am very much in support of immigration reform because you shouldn't be here in this country if you haven't gone through the process of legally obtaining your citizenship, because people work very hard to keep themselves legit, like myself, for instance. I try very hard to maintain my, reputation in a good way and to stay in a positive legal standing. Okay, so Donald Trump and my support of DACA. Obviously, I support this situation. I think we should, send DACA through to, you know, weed out the undesirables. The people who haven't worked hard and studied. It's not like the hardest thing in the world to obtain citizenship. If you aren't medically fit, then that's another situation. But my first question is, should this be a matter put up for a national vote instead of just a Congress or Senate vote? I don't think it's to the point where the whole entire country needs to vote on it. I don't think it's been put up for, like to be put on the ballot for that situation. If they were going to do that, they should have did that when Donald Trump was elected in the first place. but they didn't do that. So they obviously waited until, the next president got into office so that they could, do it in a different way, because Obama's from Africa. There are a lot of African immigrants too, like Haitian immigrants, all those different type of people. I'm thinking maybe that's why they might have stalled this issue, because maybe Obama would have been in support of helping the immigrants, since he just wanted to help everybody, and you can't do that. In my world, everyone doesn't get helped. That's how I look at the situation. If I was president, everybody wouldn't get helped. I'm sorry, that's the way it is. It's like, it's time for survival of the fittest. If you can't hang, you just can't hang. If you made mistakes, you have to answer for those mistakes that you made. It's time that people grow up. I'm sorry, because there are people who actually deserve help that aren't getting it. Because there are so many people standing in front of them in line, and that's not right. So the importance of immigration laws. The importance of immigration laws really are rooted in something called disease control. I don't know if people know what STDs are, STIs, and all those different things, but okay. Different countries have different diseases that they're known for. America is a place where there's a very low sickness rate when you think about it. We don't have like measles and chickenpox widespread and Ebola and all those different things. You don't hear about that. Other countries do have things like that, namely Mexico. It's called consumption, tuberculosis, things like that. When you just hop the border and you don't get vaccinated for certain things, and you go having babies and spreading those, diseases, you help those diseases build up immunities, or those diseases start to mutate, and they aren't so easily eradicated. Tuberculosis is something people don't talk about, and it's very important. It's something that's very serious. If you pop up with tuberculosis, you're in trouble. Like, I had to go get retested because that shit, if you don't have that shit updated, it will slow down everything. I'm not sure if it's like a magical thing, if they're doing like magical warfare with diseases or whatever, but this shit goes deep. So, yeah, I believe tuberculosis is pretty big in Africa too, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. The main reason, another big reason for immigration laws and things like that and immigration reform is to track your medical history, so people can know when you pop up with certain diseases. Like, it's just like the HIV thing. If someone gets infected with HIV and they pop your name up, like, that stuff needs to be connected. Like, it needs to be able to come back to you if you've done something to infect people. That's like biological warfare. It's in your bedroom now, people. Biological warfare it's entering the bedroom. Okay, another biggie for immigration reform and immigration laws is the controlling of resources. Like, a lot of people are on welfare programs and they're receiving health care from the government, and they shouldn't be, and some people should be, but it's all twisted and mixed up. There are people who, like, I know there's a whole bunch of Hispanics receiving welfare and they're legal immigrants. They don't have, legal citizenship. Same for the Haitians and different people from Africa. It's just, I don't see how these people get across the border without, it has to be some kind of identity theft going on. Honestly, it's some kind of fraud or something. Like, it's something like that. But I'm going to get to how we can solve all of this if worst comes to worst. So, my solution for Donald Trump to put into place, if worst comes to worst, and if DACA fails, the only way then to weed out the undesirables and to separate the blue bloods from the undesirables would be to have a mass separation of the masses based on their health status. Like, I guess that would be maybe blood work, requiring blood work from people to, they're going to have to update the system. So you'll have to, like, give blood to travel to different countries and different things like that at the airport if it comes to that. So people can know who you really are. Like, we should get everyone's DNA in a system so there won't be a need for this paranoia of someone using your identity and going to another country and starting a whole nother life. Like, that's identity theft, and that stuff runs deep. Like, you can mess up someone's whole record by doing something like that. And not to mention slow down the system. It's like stopping up a toilet. That's what a lot of these immigrants are doing. They're stopping up the national toilet. And yeah, if worse comes to worse, we just need to prep for a civil war. If these illegal immigrants who have obtained legal citizenship, if they want to, try to defend their family members who should be deported legally, like, we need to prepare for civil war if it comes to that. I don't believe they'll have enough support to raise up a civil war. They won't. Like, there's no way. But yeah, basically we just need to separate the good people from the bad people. It's not hard to do. Like, all you do is prick a finger and get their blood, and we can tell their whole life story from that. We need to get to a point where we can do that. Just prick someone's finger and you can tell their whole life story. So we won't have to do these constant document changes, because I just applied for my passport at the beginning of the year, January 3rd. And now the government has shut down, and now they're reopening, and all these different things are going on. And it's ridiculous. And now they're saying, I'm in California, they're saying, oh, now to travel, you're going to need another, a real California ID. Well, I have my Class A commercial driver's license in California. So I'm like, what is all of this? They're trying to make people jump through hoops for. Like, what are they trying to hide? What's the situation? The only thing I can come up with is there's some illegal immigrants trying to hide something. That's the only answer and solution to this that I can come up with. So yeah, pretty much I'm in full support of DACA. And if DACA doesn't work, we need to do blood testing to separate the masses. We need to make sure that identity theft is low. We need to make sure that consumption, tuberculosis, and STDs aren't continued to be passed through means of identity fraud and biological warfare. Because all of these things, like I said, stop up the national toilet and slow things down. And good people in America who belong here and who worked hard and just, had faith in the system, but the system has failed them, have to wait for justice, and that's not fair. Okay, so I tried to make that as fun as possible without rambling on. I hope you all made sense of what I'm trying to say. I know there was a lot of information to digest, but basically look up consumption, tuberculosis, biological warfare, and identity theft, and, immigration laws, reform, things like that. It goes deep, people. These immigrants they not only do they marry legal citizens, but they can impregnate a legal citizen, and that's like entrapment in a different type of way. It's deep, people. So that's all I wanted to come to you all today and talk about. I hope it was fun and informative. Like, share, and subscribe. And I do hope that we can find a solution to this immigration mess. Bye.